For this, I'm going to have my shoes off. I have a couple of mats set up, but that's just so I can give you guys a couple of different angles of the movements we're going to do. So I'm going to be switching kind of my orientation throughout the workout. Don't feel like you need to. That's just so you guys can see better, all right? So I'm going to start off side facing, and we're going to get right into the hips today. So I want you to take a big step forward with your left leg. From there, you're just going to bring both hands down to the ground, all right? We're going to get into the front side of the right hip. That's what we're targeting here. So a lot of today is going to be guided kind of off of our breath. We're going to use breath to help facilitate our movement here. So setting up in kind of this high lunge position, I want everybody to squeeze their back glute, so their right glute and their right quad. Keep that, keep it active. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, I just want you to try and sit down just a little bit lower while keeping that quad and that hip engaged. So those muscles in the back leg are still strong here. Let's take a deep breath in. And this time, on the exhale, I want you just to bend the knees. Relax the quad, flex that glute, sit into that hip, sending that hip forward towards the top of your mat. Deep breath in, we re-straighten that back leg, squeeze, flex. Deep breath in and exhale. Sink into it, sit those hips down and forward. Let's do that a couple more times. Deep breath in, straighten out the back leg, squeeze the glute, squeeze the quad, and exhale. Drop that back knee, sink into it, keeping that glute active. One more. Lift that back knee, deep breath in. Squeeze the quad, squeeze the glute, and exhale. Dropping that back knee, sitting low into that hip. All right? From here, I want you to keep that back knee down, and we're going to reach away from the front leg. So keeping front foot flat on the ground, so the heel's not lifting up, anything like that. I'm going to take my left hand, same side hand as the foot that's in front, and reach it away from that foot. Trying to reach as far away from that foot as possible. I'll switch directions so you guys get a different angle of the movement here. Foot flat on the ground, sitting low into that hip, and I'm just going to reach away, far away as possible from that foot. Just take some deep breaths here. Keeping that back glute engaged. Let's take one more deep breath. And on your exhale, slowly release. Okay. So now we're going to start to rock back and forth. So this one, we're going to be kind of switching the emphasis of the parts of our hip that we're going to hit. So as we're more upright and we sit forward, we're still going to be hitting that front side of that right hip. As we shift back, our emphasis is going to switch into that left hamstring. All right? So what we'll do here, starting knee up, take a deep breath in, lift the chest, drop the hips, squeeze that back leg strong, deep breath in. On the exhale, drop that back knee, shoot both hips back, and I want you to try and squeeze the quad of this left leg. So I'm really actively trying to straighten the leg. If you have to be up here, if you have to be up a little taller to do that, that's okay. On your next inhale, let's shift back forward, lift that back knee, squeeze the glute. So right leg is tight, strong here. Deep breath in, exhale, shift the hips back, drop the knee. Now we switch to the left leg being strong and engaged. Inhale forward. Straightening out that back leg, squeeze it. Exhale, knee down, hips back. Now this time I want you to try and bring those left toes towards your face, towards your shin. Should feel a big stretch all down through the back side of the leg. Inhale forward, squeezing that back leg. that back glute, dropping the hips. And exhale, send it back. Drop the knee. Pull the toes up towards the chin. And you can actually start to drop the head down towards the knee. Intensify that stretch a little bit. And inhale forward. Let's do this 2 more times on this side. Deep breath in. Squeeze the back leg. Drop the hips. Lift the chest. Exhale back. Squeezing that front thigh. Lifting the toes. Dropping the head. Inhale forward. Squeeze the glute. Squeeze the quad. Exhale back. Last time. We'll hold it here for a little bit. Take a few deep breaths. Keeping that left quad engaged. Helping open up that hamstring. All right. Let's do the same thing with the opposite leg forward. So now, I just want you to throw your right leg forward if you're doing the same side as I was. We're going to start just with those quad sets, straightening out that back leg. Deep breath in, squeeze. And on the exhale, just drop that knee down, send the hips down, forward. You can lift the chest up a little bit, trying to feel a stretch in the front side of the left hip. Inhale, lift that back knee, squeeze the glute, squeeze the quad. Exhale, keep the glute engaged, just bend the knee, tap it to the ground, lift the chest, feel that stretch. As we inhale, lifting that back knee, straightening it out. Exhale. Drop into that stretch. Inhale, straightening the back leg. Exhale, drop the knee, lift the chest. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten out the back leg. Leg strong, glute engaged. Exhale, drop the knee. Lift the chest. Once more. Inhale, straighten out that back leg. Squeeze that back quad, squeeze the glute, get low. Exhale. Drop that back knee, lift the chest. Now we're going to add that reach away like we did on the other side. So still with that right foot forward, that back knee could be up or down here, personal preference. But I want you to try and get low with the upper body, and then staying low with the upper body, start to reach away from that front leg. So my right hand is reaching away from my right foot. Just take some deep breaths here. One more deep breath. And relax. Slowly coming back upright. Now we're going to switch between emphasizing left front of the hip when we come to that forward position and right hamstring once we shift back. Every time we shift back, again, we're going to try and squeeze that right quad to help straighten out that front leg. All right? So, deep breath in, lift the chest, sit the hips forward. Trying to stretch out front side of the left hip. Exhale. Toes come up, squeezing the right quad, tightening, stretching out whole back side of this right leg. Inhale, come forward, lift that back knee. Sitting low into those hips, back leg is strong. Exhale, drop the back knee, take the hips back, lift the toes, flex that right quad. Inhale forward, straighten out that left leg. Squeeze it, engage, get low. Exhale back. Squeezing that right quad, pulling the toes up towards my body. Inhale, rock forward, straighten out that back leg. Next exhale, drop the back knee, hips back, lift the toes, squeeze that right quad. And you can start now to drop the head with it to intensify that stretch if you're ready for it. Inhale forward, straightening out that front leg, squeeze, get low. Exhale back. Dropping the head, lifting the toes, straightening out that leg. Let's do one more here. Inhale forward, straightening out left leg. Exhale. Back. Big stretch for that hamstring. Take 3 deep breaths here. And relax. Come out of it and shake it out. Feel free to get a sip of water if you need it. So now we're going to get into the outer hip a little bit. So it's going to be a pretty similar setup to what we just did. The only caveat, or the only change, is going to be instead of a flat foot, I'm going to ask you to be on the outside edge of your foot. So I'm going to show it straight on so you guys can see it a little bit easier. So we'll start again with our left leg. Left leg comes forward, but instead of being flat on my whole foot, I want you to be on the outside edge of your foot. So the bottom of my foot is not touching the ground at all. It's just that pinky side of my foot. And the knee, notice the knee is pressed out away from my body, all right? Trying to get a lot of space between my torso and the knee. Okay, from here, I want you to flex your right glute and just sit low into it, all right? You can kind of informed freestyle shift your body around and just find kind of where you're tight. I tend to be tightest when I lean towards that front leg, my left leg here. I can feel some tightness kind of in my inner thigh there, but it might be a little bit different for you. You might be a little tighter if you roll towards that right leg. Just find where you're tight. And I just want you to take a few deep breaths there. If you're ever stretching, you're in a yoga class, a mobility class, doing some stretching on your own, and you get to a point where you're stretching so hard that you can't take a full breath, your breath becomes real short, choppy, that's a sign that you've gone a little bit too far. That actually becomes counterproductive for your stretching. You want to always be able to stretch and take a full deep breath in and out. That'll help relax the nervous system, relax those muscles, which is the whole point of stretching in the first place. All right, so now that we've been here for a little bit, I want you to add that same reach away that we did in the foot flat position. So I've got my left leg kind of propped up here. I'm on the outside edge of my left foot. I'm going to take my left hand, reach it low and away, trying to get as far away from that knee as possible. Take some deep breaths here. All right, slowly push it back up. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So now my right leg is forward. I start with the foot flat on the ground, then I just let it roll open until I'm on that outside edge of the foot, that pinky edge of the foot. And then I'm just going to try and sit low into the hips with my spine nice and tall. Show a side view. Spine nice and tall, spine is nice and long here. And I'm just going to start to shift around again, just like we did on that other side, finding where you're tight. It'll probably feel a little bit different side to side. That's normal. For me, my right hip is quite a bit tighter than my left hip, so I feel this a ton on the outside of my right hip right now. So I'm just going to sit and breathe right here. Find that position of stretch for you and just breathe into it. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Exhales can be through the nose, through the mouth. Whichever comes more natural to you is fine. One more deep breath. All right, now let's start to reach away. So I've got my right leg in front, so my right hand is going to reach low and away from that right knee. Continuing to breathe into it. One more deep breath. And on your exhale, slowly push up and come to the knees. Feel free to shake that out however you need to. Now we're going to get into a little bit of chest stretching, all right? And now we're going to shift gears, get into the shoulders a little bit. If you're working a lot of desk jobs, you're working at a home computer desk, the front side of the body, the hips, which we just got after, and the chest, shoulders, is going to get really tight. So we're going to do some movements now to open up the front side of your upper body. So this is going to go off after a deep muscle, a small deep muscle within your chest. It's below the big chest muscle that everybody thinks of. It's called the pec minor. So for this one, I want everybody to be in a 90-degree angle here, but your elbow is going to be a little bit above the plane of your shoulder. So you don't want to be perfect 90. It's going to be just a little bit above that, all right? So we're going to be lying face down on our stomach. That elbow's 90 degrees, but just a little bit above the plane of my shoulder. My right hand is planted inside of my chest. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, push into that right hand. That's going to roll me towards my left arm. And I'll feel a big stretch through the chest there. And here, we're just going to be static here. We're going to stay here. Just take some nice deep breaths. Again, if you're in such a stretch position where you can't take a deep breath, I want you to back off just a little bit. Use your breath and the ability to breathe deeply as a way to moderate your intensity. I want you to find as big of a stretch as you can handle while still being able to breathe smoothly. One more deep breath here. And exhale. Release, roll back to your stomach. Now we're just going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So take that right hand up at that 90 degree and just a little bit above that. Left hand comes in close. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, push into that left hand, roll towards the right arm. Find that stretch through the front side of the right shoulder, the right pec. This is a great stretch for people that have kind of a slumped forward or rounded forward shoulder posture. So if you have any pain associated with that, or if you just notice that your body is often kind of held in that rounded forward posture, this would be a great one for you to do throughout the day. Take one more deep breath here. And slowly release on your next exhale. All right. Now, we just kind of open up these shoulders in kind of this wide manner. So now we're going to open up the shoulders in more of an overhead manner. We're going to do that with some simple down dogs, all right? So if you've never done a yoga class, no worries. It's a pretty simple stretch. We're basically just going to turn our body kind of into a triangle shape, all right? And we're going to pump our feet once we get into this triangular shape. And when you pump your feet and straighten out one leg at a time, I want you to try and flex the quad of that straight leg just like we did in this stretch here, right? That flex of the front side of the leg is going to help open up the back side of the leg. All right, so let's get started. So your hands are right underneath your shoulders, fingers spread out nice and wide. Core is strong, tuck your toes, deep breath in. Exhale, push the hips up and back, lifting the knees. So this is kind of our standard down dog here. From here, I want you to bend one knee deeply, straighten out that other leg, drop the heel towards the ground. In this case, it's my right leg. I'm flexing that quad hard. Deep breath here. Exhale, release. Now left leg, I'm going to drop the heel, straighten the leg, flex that left quad hard, deep breath in. Exhale, release. Back to that right side, drop the heel, flex the quad, deep breath in, hold. Exhale, release. Left side, straighten the leg, dropping the heel, flex that left quad, deep breath in. Exhale, release. Let's do once more each side. Dropping that right heel, flex the right quad, deep breath in. Exhale, release. And once more, drop that left heel, flex the left quad, deep breath in. And exhale, release. And as you release, I want you to press, or bend both knees, and then press your stomach and your chest towards your thighs. Really trying to lengthen out the shoulders, lengthen out the upper back. Having as big a bend as you need to keep that, and just breathe here. All right, from downward dog, I want you to slowly start to walk your feet forward, but nice and wide. We're going to come to a low squat, all right? So shift towards facing you guys. A low squat position. Here, your feet could be flat on the ground like I am here, or if you're really tight, you can lift those heels up just a little bit. Either way, it's still going to be a good stretch for the hips, all right? So wherever you're at in your squat, I want you to hold here. Just take a few breaths. All right, now we're going to add some rotation through the shoulders. Now I'm going to keep my left hand down. We're going to take your right hand up towards the sky. Look at that right hand. Try and have your right palm facing forward. So you should be able to see your right palm. Take a couple deep breaths. Come back to center. Same thing, opposite side. So left hand reaches up, looking up at that left palm. Butt is low, chest is tall. A few deep breaths. And relax. Go ahead and plant your hands behind you and come to a seated position. Sit down however's comfortable. I just want you to be able to sit up tall, all right? Now we're going to shift gears and get into the front side of the neck a little bit. We did front side of the hips. We just did front side of the chest. Now we're going to do front side of the neck. So seated, nice and tall. I want you to take your right ear towards your right shoulder. You should feel a big stretch on the left side of your neck here. Keeping that, I then want you to start to look up towards the ceiling. So now it should shift the stretch a little bit more obliquely to the left front side of your neck. Take a few deep breaths here. And slowly release. Same thing, opposite side. So left ear to left shoulder, stretching out the right side of my neck. Then as I'm ready, I'm going to slowly lift the chin up towards the ceiling. I'm much tighter again on this right side, so I can't quite get up as high, but that's okay. Find that stretch, breathe into it. One more deep breath, and release. Okay, one more stretch for the neck and shoulders. I want you to take your left hand straight out to the side. Left hand straight out to the side. Go ahead and go thumbs down because we're almost done with class. All right, so that's thumbs down. Take that hand behind your back and sit up tall, open up the chest. From here, I'm going to bend my head away from that left arm, so I'm bending it towards the right. So think of pulling the left shoulder away from your neck. So I'm trying to get as much length here through that top side or through that left side of the neck as possible. And from here, to add a little bit more, you can instead turn the chin down. So now my chin is down towards my right armpit or my right shoulder. Taking a few breaths here. Same thing, opposite side. Right hand's out to the side, thumb face down. Hand comes behind the back. Try and get it up high, up your back. Open up the chest. Stay tall through the spine. And just bend the head over towards the left, away from that right arm. Couple deep breaths here. Breathing into that right side. And as you're ready, if you're ready, feel free to intensify the stretch by taking that chin towards the left shoulder. All right. And slowly relax. Shake it out.